You can see Jerry Lane getting right back in his face and probably egged him into saying something. I call it baiting.
And now Kurt Suzuki will have to come into the ball game here.
These crews are supposed to look one way, but they change on a regular basis, and you can kind of figure out the seniority with the crew chief and then who will be known as the two-man. But they've got to work with a lot of different combinations, and when they do have that chance to get home. And how you mentioned packing the bags and all that kind of stuff too. You go to a city that might have hot weather one day and cold weather another day. You're talking about putting a lot more into that trunk. And now C.B. Buckner is
Hosmer
going to hear it.
Haas is giving. Oh, he ran him. He ran Haas. And Haas is a little bit frustrated with some of the calls at C.B. Buckner. And, like I said earlier, these guys, they're competing against Strasburg. They might see him in the World Series. You never know. So this is an important game for them, even though it's a blowout. And Hosmer didn't appreciate C.B. Buckner's getaway day calls. That's what it came over, and Haas chirped. Ooh, he's not done either. Ooh.
Well, we don't know how long this was going on. I can't think it was going on too long because Hosmer was just at the plate. And at the same time, in a game like this, C.B. Buckner might be the only one in the ballpark that knows that everyone was yelling at him. Now, if he was arguing with him at home plate and that carried on for too long, okay, that's one thing. But of the 30+ thousand that are here today, how many people do you think knew that Eric Hosmer was yelling at the home plate umpire and maybe the umpire just needs to shut off that right ear?
Very small percentage.
The frustration boiling over during the break. Ryan Presley first, and then Paul Molitor ejected by Scott Berry as Presley comes off the mound.
Well, he can't sustain his frustration and says something to Scott Berry. He throws him out. Paul's probably telling him, and I know what this is about. Paul's saying, well, the guy's out of the game, and you're going to have rabbit ears and yell, and that's frustrating.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the manager's appeal was. And why make an already miserable night worse?
Well, pretty significant thing happened during the break. Dexter Fowler was saying to Vic Carpenter, so last time I was up, you called it down. This time you're calling it up. Which is it going to be? And eventually, he got ejected.
Yeah, it looked like Dexter was heading back out to his position, and Carapazza engaged somebody in the cup dugout, and that brought Dexter back into the conversation and never got particularly heated. That's why it was surprising when ultimately Carapazza ran Dexter from this ball game. See, I'm really surprised.
And I think for Dexter it was about, okay, so here's the first inning.
Were egregious. I'm just surprised he ran him.
Well, just as we were going to break, you could see that Chris Guccione tossed Girardi out, and then Girardi certainly got his money's worth. This is right as we were going to commercial, and Guccione throws him out, and it was obviously about what Girardi thought was a balk by Gausman. You can see he's talking about the pitcher and coming to a set. And this went on for the entire between innings period, so about two minutes, and Joe has been ejected from the game.
Well, he got his money's worth.
Trumbo with a ground ball to Torres. Nice play. And across the diamond, one away.
And the reason I say he got his money's worth because as he was walking off the field going to the dugout, he turned around, came back out again. There's the Girardi being tossed out.
Now he walks away, and I don't know if he said something. Guccione said something because Joe wanted more. You don't see managers do this anymore because with replay, there's very little to argue about.
You can't argue with the umpires in New York.
For Arizona, wrap up the series. Pitch is strike three call. AJ flips the bat away. He was on his way to first base. He can't believe it. And he and Corey Blazer have an extended conversation as Greinke earns his 7th strikeout. Off we go to the 5th inning.
AJ just thrown out.
It's 3-0, and the Braves have just lost AJ Pierzynski.
The 3-1 to Big Papi. For a strike, and now David is angry. Here comes John Farrell. Out to get David away. And I think he got to him just in the nick of time, David. Oh, now Farrell has been thrown out of the game. David Ortiz hopping that hand, and Ramirez is over to move him away. They count 3-2 now. And John Farrell has been tossed out of the game. Red Sox hitters have kept their cool all night on a lot of borderline pitches that have been called strikes. Take a look at this one. Wow. I don't know what happened there with McCann, too. I think McCann got crossed up. In Pittsburgh. First time they ever put a tarpaulin on the field. Uh-oh.
And that
Bad
absolutely
blood.
was. Oh, that absolutely was.
Here comes Bill Miller in from first base, and the benches are clearing. Here we go. Park got one up and in.
Well, what Jose wants to do is drop the bat. That's the first thing. Because that's something that can get you suspended.
Gerald Boston over there with him. Abreu is not pleased. Frazier's in there.
That's not bloody.
There's Greg Scott Carroll on the outskirts.
Hunter absolutely knows when he's going to get hit. And although May looks away,
you see the reaction of the Sox dugout immediately, and now they're going to be separated. So Park got one up and in the top of this inning. He was hit by a pitch. Abreu gets plugged in the side. This is game 1 of a 3-game series.
it's also two teams that have 2 series against one another, both home and away, remaining after this series. So we probably haven't seen the last of this.
The bullpens are being sent back to their respective areas.
And remember, you don't have to issue a warning if in the mind of the umpire, he's issuing a warning now, but if in the mind of an umpire, he thinks that thrown at a hitter, he can with warnings being issued.
Reading Robin's lips, he said, you heard him say it. So there was something said. And watch the reaction by May. That is not shock. And remember, Jose in all of this is not a heavy English speaker. So the discussion coming from the umpire, don't know exactly how it's working. And Robin Ventura has been thrown out of his ball game.
Well, I think Robin has a pretty good case to make, because if any of the umpires on the field don't believe that that was a purpose pitch by Trevor May, I would be surprised.
Robin Ventura is fighting for his guys right now. The central one being Jose Abreu, who got hit in the ribs. The next half inning after Park got one up and in. You think there is a lot of evidence suggesting intent there?
I would think so, and of course you read into a pitcher's mind the intent, but for Nate Jones In a 10-4 game, there would be no reason to buzz Park up and in like that. That one, I truly believe, got away. This one, however, didn't appear to get away. Again, you read intention, it's what it appeared to be.
The jersey, yeah. That is strike 3. Yeah, you're not going to like it if you're the hitter on that call, and yet you could see some of the ball possibly catches the bottom of the strike zone. Tough one. Strikeout number 10 for Mariners pitching. Vincent gives up the baseball to Scott Service. And somebody just got thrown out of the game. Here's A.J. Hinch coming out. And he is really giving it to Ben May. He is so hot right now.
Someone's in here. What's up?
2-1 Seattle back now.
That's the way the last inning ended, and it didn't end well for Melky Cabrera or the Sox. As Diaz rings him up, Melky thought it was outside, and apparently he said the magic word.
But I don't blame Melky, and obviously, the magic word, you can't blame the umpire.
And Danny's going to be called out on a high slider at the top of the zone, 1 out. And somebody's been tossed.
They're holding Bryce back. You just don't usually see that. That's what we used to call having rabbit ears.
That's costly if this game goes on.
A lot of memories on this field. Remember having Pringles out there. If you want the Pringles, you have to get there quick.
Vice Gentleman's Body Wash, full of vitamin B3. 15 G's. It's super simple. Enter your info. Takes like 30 seconds. Boom! Approved! With no credit hit online. There's a lot of cars under 15 G's. Now you can customize your own payments on any car. If you need a car you can afford, go to Drive Time.
That GMC you're looking at, that's
Oh my god damn.